Well, C. Jenkins came through for sure. I knew she would. I'm not sure. Eye of the Giraffe. Love it. Love it. I never even saw any of that in here, but now I do. Of course I do. Okay, tomorrow. What are we going to do tomorrow? Today for tomorrow. That's how I whirl. I did a couple of more. I did these first on Procreate. But I really love the idea of something like this with lots of scraps. And it was part of a crown. And I just kept moving it over. And I'm like, okay, I like that. I like that. This is good too. This is elongated crowns, partials, with the words blah, 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 which is something I got off of Pinterest in the background because it had a lot to do with this. And I like both of these. I don't know if I'm going to make both of them or try to create something like this in the background. Both of them or not. For today. But we're going to kind of cut them out and just see what happens. I might even put them here. Okay, so I need small pieces of paper. Smaller. All right. I love a good gray background for quilting in real life, really, with fabric. I don't think I have any. Huh. I might change my mind on everything. However, I might do two. I don't think I have any kind of gray background. Now I could just use a black background. I'm digging through my stack here. Oh. That's good. Stickers. Here's an interesting background. Might try to do that. Okay. And I have this box. So we are going to cut out lots and lots of little squares. That's a lot of what quilting is. It's a lot of repetition because you're cutting out a bunch of stuff. And then you're sewing it together. And sometimes it takes like 7 instances of that to get where you want to go. Like there's 7 components to a block. I have not made anything tough by any means. Technical. Mainly because that's not how I sew either. And sometimes quilt blocks are like 5 and 6 different sections of sewing. And then it takes all of that to make the actual block. And then you make 4 of those and put borders around it or something to that effect. sometimes it takes quite a while. Then, I mean, if you're sewing by hand, I don't hate sewing by hand because it's the meditative process that I really love. However, I'm also impatient, so I start off really well. And it goes downhill quickly. A lot. And I may not have everything it takes. I may not make it as elaborate as this one. Oh, Joe the Quilter, Joe Cunningham, that I've been talking about lately, made a new video yesterday. I think he calls it the Quilt Report. But he has an old quilt that was, I think it was, he said it was given to him by a friend. But it's a very, very simple quilt. But it was all hand sewn, so it's not perfect. Which are the best kind, in my opinion. But he was talking about it. I don't know if he lets people visit his studio. He's rarely home. He goes on. He's traveling a lot. I think he's going to somewhere. Azerbaijan, Albania, someplace. Way, way far away. So he's getting ready for that. I happened to see him when I was in England last year at the International Quilt Festival. He was just walking by. And I'm like, oh. I said, hello. He goes, hello. And he was on his way out. You could tell he was leaving. And I was trying not to occupy his time. But I said, well, how lucky am I? I said, I just saw your quilts last week, which is a true story. He goes, and where was that? I said, in San Francisco with Margaret Fabrizio. And he's like, oh, really? I said, yeah. And he goes, and now you're over here? I said, and now I'm over here. And now I see you. Because I had never seen him before in real life. Admired him from afar on video for many, many years. He's actually one of the original promoters of G's Bend quilts. The ladies in Alabama. Long time ago. Somebody discovered them also and then decided that they would be great to be sold in Bloomingdale's and Macy's and things like that. I think like in the 70s or maybe earlier. Oh, this is pretty. It's like cleaning off your paintbrush. Okay, let's just see where that takes me. Oopsie. I just fell over. Okay. I think I am going to put it on this background. But I'm going to make it small. And then on Procreate, after I'm finished, now I'm trying to go for something like this, which has a little bit of a border, a piece here. And it's basically, it's part of a crown that I just kind of angled to go off kilter, which I love. And you could either do tons of quilting in the background here, rows and rows of quilting, which I kind of like, the repetitive geometric shape of it all. Actually, I think I'm going to put this at the top. The fact that these are all different colors is the crux of the matter here. So the dog did pretty good last night. I had a hard time falling asleep. My next door neighbor, we were out one time, and he goes, your card needs to be washed. I'm like, well, I know, but I said Ken's been rinsing it every day because we have a crepe myrtle tree that has grown and become a huge factor since these trees have all been cut down after this storm last year in October. There's another one brewing out there. Yay. And I said, he's been rinsing it every day. I said, the crepe myrtle's just going gangbusters and dropping its blossoms, which it does this time of year. It's a bright pink, like that color pink on a black car. I said, he actually just rinsed it yesterday. He said, he did? I was like, yep. Oh, and I got my Ollie Edwards kit finally yesterday. They had a lot of problems getting stuff from China. But there's a lot of color in it, which I love. But I think I'm going to just go through her drawer and find things I like and kind of recolor them to Halloween. I really do. Because the drawer is full. I can't get any more in the drawer. These kits that are coming now are much bigger kits because they're only coming quarterly. I think there's actually less stuff when you add it all up, but still it's like, okay, I can't fit anymore. I know what I'm going to call this one. Uphill battle. And I'm going to kind of curve this piece too. Because it's the top of the next point on the crown. Part of the top. It would be like this part right here. But now I'm going to photograph this. And I'm going to put 4 of them together to see what it looks like. So let's make this one also and do the same thing. So this one's going to be even smaller. Start off with. And I'm going to start off with tempera paint sticks, I think. There's an A and an H from the Blah. Oh gosh, these things are so hard to get off sometimes. Okay, this is the not so good brand. But for this, it works fine. Now, underneath here, you're not going to see a lot of that. Actually, there's a little bit of orange up here, too. From the next row of H. That doesn't show up. There we go. And maybe like that. Okay. All right, we're going to leave that like that. Now, we're going to cut some specific colors. I don't think I have any of those specific colors here. Here's some yellow. Okay, that might work. I need some green. and some orange. Oh, there's some green. That's, oh, and here's some, that's not orange enough, but we might play with it. We might make it orange. Okay, that needs to dry for a minute. Stick it up under a light. All right. Now, green. I need a triangle, a rectangle. So Gunnar did very well, better than I thought he would. He had a minute, or took him a minute or two to fall asleep, but and I took him out one time in the middle of the night. But it wasn't bad. He could have been much worse. He has been much worse. Okay, these can all go in the little tiny box. Okay, now I need just some strong points. And I don't want them perfectly shaped. Kind of like the way Basquiat's points. I don't think these were Basquiat crowns, but they were influenced a little bit by him, as every crown is, right? Okay, I like that. Now, but see, to do this on fabric, okay, this is how I would approach it. Get all these little, I would have gray or black, probably gray grunge, because that's my favorite. Where did this yellow stick go? Uh-oh. Gray grunge. And then I would perhaps piece big pieces here. This could be like a rectangle half, and I would maybe sew in the A and the H, and maybe just put this, I'm not sure how, there might be 3 pieces here. 1, 2, 3. A big piece here, a smaller rectangle here, and then a tiny narrow rectangle laid horizontally across the top. And encompassed in those, each individual piece would be this letter, or you could just, actually, no, cancel all that. I would take a square, depending on how big I would want to make each individual square, because I'm going to do 4 of these. Again, maybe 12 inches, and then you would have a square that would be 23-ish inches by the time you sew the pieces together. And then I would applique a big H, a big A, part of the H, this color up here. If this turns out, I might try to make something like this. And then I would, again, applique again on top these pieces. So really and truly, there'd be 1, 2, 3 layers in some places, which is okay by me. This is a cardboard packaging of some kind. And actually, this piece of the crown is going that way. It's points. And this one is going this way. And purposely not all the same kind of triangles. Isosceles was not around when this quilt pattern was invented. So now you can't tell that that's an AH. Pretty much. All right, this is kind of damp still. I'm going to dry it. That's better. Okay. And this piece is all one piece. And again, not perfect, purposely. Could this be my favorite one, maybe? I don't know. Now, if you were a mathematician and a lot more involved in the getting everything perfect process than I am, you could probably break this down into 4 sections and get this together, or maybe at least 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have a feeling I'm going to love this because, and actually there's a little bit of grunge going on in those letters underneath more than what I put in there. So I'm going to kind of trying to grunge it up. And this one has a lot of pink going on, and that one has more blue. But it's not a blue. It's kind of like a turquoise blue. There's a little bit of the turquoise over here. And there's actually something up there, but that doesn't show enough. I love this. I have a feeling I'm going to love this. So I'm going to go take these now. This is a quick video, apparently. But sometimes it just comes together. And a lot of quilt patterns are make a block and then put 4 of those, sew 4 to, or sew 8 or sew 12 to get them together. I'm going to put these on my Hobonichi page for today. These little squares that are left over. Because sometimes you just need to do stuff like that. So what would I call this? It just came to me. Just, I don't know why. Maybe because I saw something about Johnny Depp. Maybe making another Pirates of the Caribbean movie. They have offered it to him. But this reminds me of Johnny Depp, Mad Hatter, especially that one, because I think once you put these crowns together, and see, you would never know that those are bits of crowns, and that's a bit of a crown. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Crown. I think I'm going to call it crowning around 1 and crowning around 2. Yes, I am. Okay. Because it's all crowns and I'm turning them around at different times. Crowning around 1, crowning around 2. All right. The rest of the video is going to be me putting these, and I think I might leave this with it too. Putting it together in Procreate. I'm not going to show you how I do it because there's a million different ways I think you can do things in Procreate, and I'm not here. I don't teach anyhow, and because I never know what I'm doing, and I usually do it wrong. And I'm not proficient at quilting or Procreate. I just like what I like. So let's make a video. Yay, lady. Yay. Of course you would. Oh, here. It's my Hobonichi. Okay. I still haven't put it all together yet. Thursday. This is called cleaning off your desk. And you need color. No deer. It's actually, I took Gunner out maybe an hour ago. Half hour ago, 45 minutes ago. And it's so thick with, which is what our weather has been like, so thick with fog slash humidity that it's sprinkling. The plants are loving it. The water bill loves it. Even though we water our plants from the lake, like a lot of people do up here. But there's a couple stickers. This was a little sticker set that was like a thank you in a Etsy purchase. And now I don't even know which one. But I need to use up the stickers. So I'm just going to decorate the top of my page here. And whatever else I do today, not a whole lot till the husband gets home. Oh my God. Okay, let's go to the Procreate machine, aka iPad. Okay, let's see. I need to clean out my drawer a little here. Okay, stop talking. Admittedly, I took these into Procreate, and these are some of my absolute all-time favorites. And I think I will be making 2 at least wall hangings of these. Look at that. Look at that. Love it. Love it. Oh my God. Love this guy too.
I see you. Yes, I do. Does Daddy see you? Daddy? Do you think Daddy's here yet? Do you think he's here yet?